Alrighty, 'tis the weekend, so mini expansions today. What's going on? So, the only trasher is Altar, which, I mean, it's good at trashing. Or, that's not accurate. It is a good card which trashes. It's not good at trashing, because it costs 6 and only trashes 1 card, but it gains you nice things. So I think the early game goal is probably to get to 6 and buy an Altar. What else is going on here? Plenty of villages: Swamp Shacks, Ironmonger, Shantytown, Merchant Camp. Plus buy, just market, but there's Altar for gains. In the forts pile, there is also Hill Fort, which is a gainer. And then draw. So Swamp Shacks is draw, Scholar is draw, the forts pile has draw. Garrison can often be humongous amounts of draw. Like, it's not uncommon to see this get to 20 plus cards per garrison play. Stronghold is just like the consolation prize. It is expensive weak garrison if for some reason you can't get the garrisons. So we got plenty of draw. I mean, in theory, Ironmonger is draw, but not reliably. Shantytown also can sometimes be draw. But I would think the goal here is probably Swamp Shacks plus Garrison eventually is the goal. Maybe you take a Scholar to get going. Both of those cards, Garrison and Swamp Shacks, I think they require some setup before they're good. Like Garrison, it's not really draw until you're gaining multiple things per turn, which is not happening early in the game. And Swamp Shacks isn't really draw until you're playing a bunch of actions per turn. But I think they seem like they would synergize with each other pretty well. Because Swamp Shacks' problem is if you draw it too early, like I can't have just Swamp Shacks, they're all drawing you 0 or 1, and that's sad. You gotta find some Ironmongers or some markets or something and play those first to get your Swamp Shacks going. Whereas, Garrison, it gives you a ton of draw at the start of your next turn to find the cards you need to kick off the Swamp Shacks, and then your deck's functioning from there. And then you can gain a bunch of stuff at the end of the turn, set up your Garrison for the following turn. I don't think this is the best Garrison Kingdom ever. Like, there's some amount of gains, Market, Altar, Hill Fort, but this isn't one of the truly crazy Garrison Kingdoms, I don't think. Like with a horse gainer, like Slay or something, where you're just gaining a bunch of horses every turn. Then your Garrison hits huge numbers. So yeah, I think get Altar early, probably get 1 copy of Scholar, I think, to get going. And then eventually get Garrisons and Swamp Shacks, then things will work. How to open. So the goal is to hit 6. My first inclination is Ironmonger plus Tint. Tint is like a silver, but there's a chance you can play it twice because you can top deck it again. The other option I think would be Ironmonger Silver. That's a little bit happier if your Ironmonger reveals the silver, because you get plus 1 coin, whereas Ironmonger revealing Tint gives you plus 1 action, which you don't need at that stage of the game. Also, once you have the Altar in your deck, Altar plus Tint in the same hand is probably sad, because you can't play them both. That downside is mitigated a lot by the existence of Arena. If you have a Terminal Collision, you could just discard one of them for victory points and be okay with that. I guess Tint Silver, also a reasonable option. Tint Silver might be the thing that is singularly most likely to hit 6, which is something to its credit. But Ironmonger is such a good card that you're going to want as many copies of as possible at every other stage of the game outside of turn 3, that I think Ironmonger on 4 just seems better, even if it's like somewhat less likely to hit 6. I'm going to say Tint Ironmonger. I think Ironmonger Silver is a close second, and Tint Silver is a fairly close third. Bot takes Shantytown. To me, that seems like a not so distant 4th. So Shantytown in the opening is pretty darn likely to be plus 2 cards if you open with anything but Tint here, like Silver or Ironmonger. And that's not bad at hitting 6, but when your deck is 7 coppers and 3 estates, drawing 2 random cards out of it is, in expectation, less money than just having 2 coins directly. And so, like, 2 cards are a little bit worse at spiking a big number than just 2 coins. But I mean, it's a draw card, so kind of similar to Ironmonger. The argument would be you'd rather have draw in your deck than payload, and so it's a card that's lowering your chance of hitting 6 immediately, but adding a card that you're a little bit happier to have later on. I don't think quite so much as Ironmonger, but I don't hate the Shantytown Ironmonger opening. Did I get... Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. Are you... So I got the old golden sombrero, which is both of my opening cards are bottom decked. There's a 1 in 66 chance of that happening, and when it happens, it is obviously not so great. Meanwhile, the bot, with its opening that is, we said somewhat unlikely to hit 6, comparatively speaking, not terrible, but it took the 2 cards that are least likely to hit 6, but happiest if to have in your deck if you hit 6, managed to not just hit 6, but also hit 6 and trigger a shuffle. This is just like literally the best possible shuffle for the bot versus worst possible shuffle for me. So they hit 6 off of an opening that's not super likely to hit it. They also hit it turn 3 while drawing it far enough into their deck to trigger a shuffle, so that altar is already back in their deck. They could see it as early as turn 4. This is just like absolute worst case scenario. Oh my. What did I even buy here? I actually have no idea. So Shantytown would be the natural answer. Of the things I can afford right now, it's the card that I would in general be most likely to want in my deck. But as I say that, I don't think it's doing so much for me immediately. Like from turn 5 onwards, I'm probably going to have my tint on the top of my deck most turns. Or by the time I'm no longer using the top deck effect, it's probably because I've already got an altar in my deck. And Shantytown in a hand with one other terminal action card is really sad, because you only get the +2 actions, and in that case it's terrible. You really only want Shanty if you can get the +2 cards usually. So I think if I buy it here, it is just pretty darn unlikely to draw me 2 cards. Merchant Camp, that's just a copper. Second Tint, definitely not. I think it's silver or nothing here. I don't really love the idea of a silver in my deck. I guess the question is, do I need that silver to hit 6? I guess I don't want to play with fire here. I really, really need to hit 6 for the next shuffle. Okay, this is a good sight. I mean, 2 of these had to be on the top. Alright. I'd be... now I'm feeling silly about buying the silver, because if I didn't have a silver in my deck, I would have triggered a shuffle already. Bottom 5 have silver, estate, 3 coppers. I don't think I want to top deck the tint. I mean, I guess it gets me a second altar. That actually sounds pretty reasonable. Given that I'm behind on my first altar, maybe I have to take a second one. Bot took a coven, a curious choice. Alright, I got 5. What am I taking on 5? Probably just another Ironmonger, to be honest. At the moment, I think the goal is just play altars a bunch. An Ironmonger is a cantrip that also cycles through your junk cards to find your altar more often at the village. Market is plus buy, which I don't need yet. I don't have that much money. And it's plus 1 coin, but Ironmonger is frequently going to be plus 1 coin anyway if it hits a copper or hits an estate, which draws me a copper. Scholar I would take if I had the village support, which maybe I do. But I think I'm just going to take Ironmonger for now. This hand brings me sadness. Where are my altars? There's a chance. There's at least a 1/3 chance I draw one of the altars. But it seems that... Nope. No, we're not drawing the altars. Alright, this is... The shuffles are conspiring against me today. Is it too early for a garrison? Probably still yes. I'm not in a position where I'm drawing multiple cards per turn yet. We're just going to keep clicking Ironmongers forever and ever. Yeah, this is horrible. Everything about this kingdom is going about as wrong as it is possible to go. Obviously the Golden Sombrero is the worst possible of all 66 opening draws. Now we got our altars, and they are both about to miss the shuffle. The bot's already played altar twice, it looks like. Oh my. So I have half a mind to just play one altar, trash one thing, and then discard something for arena points, because then at least I'm not triggering a horrible shuffle that has neither of my altars in it. If I play the Ironmonger, there's some chance I hit an action card, which has a huge upside of me getting to play 2 altars this turn. I trigger this shuffle, which has 8 junk cards in it. I guess 9, 10 functionally junk cards at this point. No, 10, because silver 2. Just 3, yeah. This is horrible. horrible. Scholar, I guess. Oh man. Oh, this is a good hand at least. So I have to assume I'm extremely behind right now. I'm gonna say I keep that on top. Please reveal. Nope. Darn it. I was really hoping to hit another action card and I could discard and pitch. So definitely playing at least one of these. And now I could play Altar again and just discard the Scholar, or I could play the Scholar, which I think I need to do. There's a lot of junk down there that I don't want to draw. I think Swamp Shacks is likely to draw me at least 2 cards at this point. Not taking Swamp Shacks. Probably Market is fine at this point. Take arena points and more Swamp Shacks. Just another Ironmonger. It's hard to say no to Ironmonger. They're just so good. Like if I want Swamp Shacks, I could have more Swamp Shacks, or I could just have more Ironmongers, which find me the Swamp Shacks I have more reliably and make them draw more. Just your deck functions really well when it's full of Ironmongers. Bot looks to be doing some reasonable stuff over there. I don't know why it has 3 shantytowns. That seems kind of crazy to me. I think 1 is almost certainly the correct number. Oh, or 0. Like, if the number is non-zero, it's 1. The 1 Coven also doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me either. Kind of the opposite of Shanty. Shantytown's like a card you won't want to have because it's much, much worse when there's multiple copies in your deck. Coven is a card where if you're going for Coven, your plan has to be, I'm going to empty those curses into my opponent's deck before the game ends. And that is almost never going to happen with a single Coven. If you're just playing with 1 Coven, it's like a silver that gives you 1 point, essentially, because by virtue of subtracting 1 point from your opponent. That's not a very good card for 5. Yes, I can play that. And typically, I don't think the solution to that is having multiple Covens. It does not seem like Kingdom Hearts Coven is strong enough to be competitive. I think the solution to that is having no Covens at all. I guess I'll mark it. Let's rotate. Ironmonger. Garrison. I can probably afford a shantytown now. I got enough villages. Swamp Shack shantytown. Alright, bot got a garrison, that makes sense. Clever girl. So I didn't expect the bot to like Garrison so much. It doesn't seem like it's that type of game plan. Apparently I should have been a little bit more cautious and just taken 2 Garrisons immediately. Because only having the 1 Garrison is, I don't know, something of a problem. Play that now. Let's gain another hill fort. Gain swamp shacks, I suppose. Draw all that. I probably want a stronghold, the old consolation garrison, given that I only got the 1 of them. Do I take a silver here? Seems like I'm drawing enough to support a silver. It's also going to be 1 point, because stronghold's a victory card, so I'll get the aqueduct points. Alrighty. Get 3 coppers. Could support another altar, maybe. Could just be another stronghold. Yeah, I think I like a 3rd altar. I can kill at these last 3 coppers, and then if I need more junk, I can always just like buy a curse, given that I've got a bunch in exile. And 1 more swamp shacks. So yeah, this garrison alone is drawing me 6 cards. I'd say this is like a pretty average garrison kingdom. It is like a double stronghold. Alright, got a garrison. Actually, I should be thinking about, I wonder if it'll be possible to win next turn. I should pay attention to that. 1 curses plus swamp shacks. I'm at a points deficit, so not necessarily. Or maybe curses plus markets might be more feasible. Yes, the bot's taking a bunch of points. That might make it difficult to pile out. Now in recent past games, I've seen the bot just be incredibly cavalier with the piles and lower piles unnecessarily and lose to a pile out. Certainly provincing here looks like a much more reasonable play than what it normally does, which is just lower piles and then lose to the 3 pile. Alrighty, let me think about this. Maybe I draw my deck first and then think about this. Okay. Can I win here? What's the easiest pile out? Probably markets and curses, I would think. Because the markets give it extra plus buys that you can use to empty the curses. So, can I do that and score enough points? I would end up at 1 point, and I would need to score 23 points. That's a big number. 23 is a big, big number. So let's say I trash all 3 coppers into markets. Then both of my hill forts gain silvers. I would have 4 money from the silvers, 4 money already, that's 8. 11 with the stronghold, 13, 15 with the 2 new silvers I gained. 18 from the 3 new markets I gained. Maybe 19 if I can get this Ironmonger to hit one of the silvers. 19 money does not sound like enough to score 23 points. Yeah, no. So I got a plan to have one more turn, is the answer. Okay. Well, I should be scoring a bunch of points anyway. I probably shouldn't be lowering provinces or any of these other piles too much. So I like the idea of gaining silvers here because they're aqueduct points. And I can get some distant lands down. I think I just kill a scholar now. It is just unlikely to ever be played. Alrighty. Probably one province is fine and one more distant lands. Or maybe, I think province duchy is probably safer. I don't know what the bot can do, but maybe the bot can pile out if I'm not careful. Duchy, interesting. Does the bot not have a pile out here? Maybe it doesn't. I mean, if there were a turn the bot could pile, this would be the turn. It just started its turn with a 19 card hand. It has 2 altars. I would think the bot should be looking at the market curse pile out. Maybe it doesn't have what it takes. Gain 2 markets. You have to buy 1 market plus 4 curses. And then 10 points. Maybe it doesn't have that? I don't know. Not even 4 curses, 3 curses. It gave me a curse. Yeah, so what was... I think the score at the start of this turn was 28 to 23. It gives me 1 curse to bring me to 27. It buys 3 curses. And that takes it to 20. It would need, like, province duchy. So if it gained 2 markets, it would need to have 18 money and 5 buys. That sounds pretty doable, right? Bot? Am I missing something, or did it just discard a 12 card hand to draw 7 of those 12 cards? Bot, are you okay? It's definitely got the buys. Maybe it doesn't have 18 money. Profit. Yeah, I guess it just didn't have enough money. I don't want to see that yet. Alrighty. This ought to be a win somehow, right? We'll go ahead and play this first. Just gonna assume this wins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not getting that swap checks to 4 before I play it. And from here, this should be, I think, a pretty trivial draw. I guess one of these becomes a market. Do I need the buys? Probably. I probably could have done 3 provinces here pretty easily if I'd needed that instead. Just gain more money. Like alter to gain silvers, and I would have gotten to 24. Okay, so this was, I think, just like absolute worst case possible scenario. You guys cannot stress how incredibly awful these early shuffles were. Worst possible draw for me. Best possible draw for the bot on turn 3 and turn 4. And then, like, not even just that, like my next 2 shuffles in a row, I'm pretty sure, like I took 2 altars, and then the next 2 shuffles I had to forego playing one of the 2 altars both times, just based on various concerns. Like in the one case it was both altars bottom decked, and the other case it was I had a bunch of junk coming up and had to draw through it. So yeah, I don't think this could have gone worse. And somehow the bot still managed to lose. What did it do? Its deck did not feel that bad. I don't know how the bot fell so far behind. Again, like I think Ironmonger Shantytown, I wouldn't open it, but if you can hit altar turn 3 with open, like the main downside is you're less likely to do this, and the bot did that, so its opening worked out as well as it could. It bought an altar. I don't like the second Shantytown so much. I think you might just buy nothing here as the bot. I think you probably just buy nothing. Third Shantytown. Okay, the third Shantytown and a Coven, I don't think makes a whole lot of sense. Again, Shantytown is just like, they get worse and worse the more that you have. Coven is just a silver. Obviously, these $3 turns are not great. You want to be hitting 4 consistently. But I mean, if you're playing an altar already before I even have my first altar, you're still well in the lead. I think probably turn 4 and 5 should have been buy nothing both times and gain an Ironmonger. Second altar seems pretty reasonable. This Shantytown is exactly the problem. Wait a second. Oh, never mind. I was confused why I played the Shantytown before its Coven, but the answer is it didn't have its Coven in hand yet. Here we see the Shantytown doing Shantytown things. Market also. The bot only has the one Ironmonger at this point, right? Okay, there we go. This makes a lot more sense than anything the bot has done in a few turns. Yes, I think the answer is the bot needed more Ironmongers early on. Like you get your altar in your deck, that's priority number 1, and then priority number 2 is just like play it as often as possible. And the card that does that the best is Ironmonger. Cycles through your stuff. It's often a village. I think 1 Shantytown, a bunch of Ironmongers, and the bot's in a much better spot. I don't hate the swap shacks. And maybe that's a little bit early when you only have the 1 Ironmonger. I thought the bot liked Ironmongers. Maybe I'm making this up, but it seemed like a card I recall the bot clicking a bunch. I do think taking the garrisons seemed pretty reasonable. I mean, like the game didn't last long enough for it to matter, but I sure would have liked another garrison if I could have gotten it. And the bot said no. 2 coppers, that's cheeky. I mean, buying 2 coppers when you have 3 garrisons in play absolutely makes sense. Yeah, I don't know. Like, for the most part, the bot's plays here actually seem pretty reasonable to me. And it managed to blow a best case scenario versus a worst case scenario anyway. And it's hard to say just how things went so incredibly wrong. I think it might just be as simple as Coven plus Shantytown over Ironmongers makes that much of a difference, I guess. Because nothing else is sticking out to me beyond the lack of Ironmongers in the deck. But the bot's deck is like doing worse than I would have thought it would have done. Like, these cards are, for the most part, pretty fine. It took 2 altars, it played the altars, took Swamp Shacks, it took garrisons. I think the answer is just maybe more Ironmongers sooner, and this stuff comes together more pleasantly, and fewer of the Shantytowns.